I had a Dutch test last October and it showed that my estrogen levels were very high. I'm 52 and experiencing varying sleep disruption, definitely increased anxiety and mood swings. My husband will agree. We often ask the husbands or the partners, they seem to know, or the children in lockdown who've all been at home and teenagers. And the occasional mild hot flush in bed during the night. We have a family history of osteoporosis, so keen to avoid that. I'm interested in bio-HRT, but obviously do not want to add estrogen if it is already high, as I know there is a cancer risk. Correct. What is the most reliable test for hormones? Presumably, when you do a test, it's just a snapshot of what's happening at the time, so it can vary considerably. Okay, let me answer that bit first. So, the Dutch test is very good. Was it done on day 21 of the cycle? Yes, great. I can see you, so I can know that. This is great. It's really interactive. So I feel like the results are probably quite accurate. Yes, when you do a random test, it's always a snapshot in time. But what I tend to do with my patients is consistently do it around the same time of the month, which is normally day 21 of the cycle. So then we can see how it varies from month to month. People don't do it every single month, obviously, but we can compare day 21 in October to day 21 in April, if that's what we were going to do. High levels of estrogen. Now, this is a common perimenopausal change. So quite often we think of the menopause as all the hormones dropping, which it does eventually. But what often happens is first you get progesterone and testosterone dropping, and then you get estrogen rising before it eventually falls. It would not be a good idea to take more estrogen while your estrogen's high. So this is one of my slight issues when GPs and conventional doctors and gynecologists don't check the hormones. Because if you went in and said, oh, I'm getting these changes, they just stick you on some estrogen, but they never checked and saw you already got loads of estrogen and you don't need that. What I suspect from not seeing your Dutch test is that maybe the progesterone was not quite optimum and we need a bit more progesterone to balance the estrogen. And we obviously don't want to shut off your natural estrogen production. No way. It's great that you've got estrogen, you know, it's fantastic. But we want to help you metabolize it better. So maybe something like some methylated B vitamins or a B complex could be useful, some DIM and or some calcium D-glucarate. They're all very helpful at helping your body to metabolize excess estrogen. DIM is actually an enzyme that's found in broccoli, but you'd have to eat like 75 portions of broccoli a day. Nobody likes that much broccoli, right? So don't bother. So the supplement's really good. You can also take it in like broccoli sprout extract if that feels more natural to you. And obviously getting antioxidants from that as well. So that's useful. The calcium D-glucarate isn't like calcium in the sort of bone form that we think of, but more in a form that it helps the bacteria in the gut to metabolize the estrogen better. So if you're prone to a bit of a funny tummy or bloating or sort of gut issues, you've wondered about your bacteria, that could be a useful one to take for that because it's a 2-in-1 then. So yes, anyway, the Dutch test is reliable. A blood test around day 21 is also useful. I hardly ever do salivary hormones anymore. The reason for that is it would be fine in you because you're not taking any hormones. But if you start taking hormone creams, it then really affects the results. So it's not a true comparison. But if it's for like cycle mapping or something like that, I think saliva hormones are good. But yes, I'd be interested to know what the progesterone and the testosterone are because that might be worth balancing first. And the cortisol, of course, because the Dutch test checks the cortisol. All stems from cortisol, yeah. So I would take the supplements for helping the estrogen metabolism, but work, well, not really hard because don't need to stress out about your cortisol, but put a bit of work into trying to balance that as much as possible because that could be causing the irregularity.